Allow me in welcoming you live to your World of Champions for this National First Division game between the Swagger Boys, Royal Eagles, and the University of Pretoria, who traveled over 500 Ks just to come get a win here. The fans at the Herigwala Stadium, never mind the weather. It is a bit cloudy out there. It is a bit cool, but it doesn't matter. The fans are ready for this all-important encounter from a home perspective. So they start geeing themselves and in anticipation of a mouth-watering clash between these two teams, two different tales, different sides of the log, as well as our match referee for today, Philip Tiane, leads the teams out. On the right-hand side is the home team, Royal Eagles. To the right, it is Amatax. If you don't know, well, the Swagger Boys of National First Division Football put their 7-game unbeaten streak on the line against an Amatax side while struggling to get to grips with the dimensions that make for a consistent team. As you saw in the build-up, as comes and like you mentioned, the home team entered the home fortress looking like, well, men oozing confidence, tailor-made suits and designer shades, levels to these things, I tell you. Well, Sean Bartlett won't be too fussed about what sort of stylish entry they make, as the two teams just go through the formalities. Much talked about the Royal Eagles set up a dangerous looking setup. Sedwyn George giving an opportunity to now link up with Phumelelo Bengu. Oh boy, how dangerous has he been alongside Monama, even Walter Pilani Klele, the skipper, to anchor things from the midfield. That's how they're gonna line up. No space for Monama. Coach Papic deciding to just leave him on the bench, perhaps looking to unleash him if the game is a tight one. George and Bengu to provide the twin threat up front. There they are, the home team. Kostadin Papic, aka Bill Clinton, a man who's well recognized in South African football circles, the well-traveled Kostadin Papic, the well-spoken, well-liked Kostadin Papic. Well, his opposition coach today, Sean Bartlett, what has he decided to roll down? Well, Vincent van der Linde catches my eye in between sticks. I've seen him quite a few times, an agile as well as a strong keeper. Well, for Chikoa and Mkhize, they're going to have to bang in the goals for a team that is looking for that, well, killer finish, as the once killer Sean Bartlett, back in his heyday, has mentioned several weeks. Doesn't he wish that he could turn back the hands of time and just run out for this University of Pretoria team that needs a talisman up front. There's one right there. Now the two teams just finishing up the coin tosses. We see some Tetra stepping up for University of Pretoria, while Pilani Klele is the Real Kings skipper. As the fans, we're about to have a moment of silence for Kaizer Chiefs legend Tenten Nzimande. May his soul rest in peace. Well, going back now to the here and now, Sean Bartlett, I was saying, won't care a jot about how his opposition entered there. There he is, Pilani Klele, the skipper. Well-traveled as well. Well, he'll be looking to continue his winning feeling after last week's smash and grab at home against Magezi. Midfielder Anthony Gordino, younger brother of Lorenzo, gets a start after saving, well, his team's blushes in the last fixtures. Referee Tiani gets us going. Though the side with the most goals this season so far will fancy their chances against the struggling Tucks. Incidentally, the last time these two teams met was in the 2011-2012 season. Tucks coming out winners on both occasions. We are ready to get started. It's gonna get helter-skelter. It's going to get thick and fast. It's going to be that sort of day in the gloomy weather of Pietermaritzburg. Royal Eagles, the home team, the high scorers, high flyers of NFD football, the Swagger Boys, as I call them. I am joined in commentary alongside me is Mr. Lucky Mhlati. What sort of game are you expecting here today? You said goals before we got you.
I'm telling you, you look at the formation, Tenda. You look at the formation from Royal Eagles. You look at the formation from Tucks. They're not going to sit back. They're going to be going all out.
Oh, you're already hitting the hail on the net there. By the looks of it, Real Kings already looking to go forward. Just under a minute. A few seconds on the clock of play having transpired. They already have shown their hands, have put their cards on the table. They're here to attack. a ratio of 2.5 goals per game. That's 27 goals. That's more than anyone in the league. By quite a long way.
Oh yes, you know, the boys are hungry for goals, you know. It gets to that time of the season where they're going to go off to a break and they want to be at the comfortable position on the log. That's why they say the coach, Sean, was frustrated. They say we're creating opportunities, but we're not scoring. He knows that when the league goes to second round, it's not going to be as easy as the first round.
True indeed. You did mention in the build-up that NFT football, every game is almost as if it's a cup final. Well, heading into this game as that man Miguel Diaz goes in too aggressively for referee Tiani's liking. There's the 20-year-old midfielder who's alongside Shane Bokenpoel today. Surprisingly, like you'll get your thoughts on Anthony Godinho. We've seen him most of the time apply his trade from a central perspective. He's been dangerous from deep runs to being able to get defensive cover. He's being used as a right winger today.
Oh, no. Don't get it mistaken. He's not a right winger. He's a right in central midfielder. That's where you find Bokenpoel, you find Miguel, and you find Godinho.
Now Shotta in there, but nicely deviated away. Jesse Jackson looking to spark off an attack early for the man in red here today. And incidentally, Lucky, quick look at these two teams heading into this one. The league's most potent attack, as I mentioned, was dulled somewhat by Stubborn Tata Buck's outfit in the game before this one. But they were away from home comforts in that particular encounter. Their home form, like I will tell you, this side is a bully teams at home. The Heriguala Stadium, the quintessential fortress, as University of Pretoria looking to undo that description there. Looking for movement, looking for goal there. Zukina Mkhize, Ian Chikowa, can they breach this Real Kings defense? Pilot Mtembu, Karabo Litabe, and Sibato Masoba. Going forward, Royal Eagles, but judged to be offside. In that instance, was that man, Maseo Lasinao, Davidson Ball, now wing up. He is 22-year-old former Pirates, Golden Arrows, man, with a neat little run from this near side. So looking to put more pressure on this Royal Eagles defense. Interestingly, both teams have conceded similar amounts of goals, 15-15.
Oh yes, you know, both teams, the coaches were saying that we've got everything right, we're playing well, but we can't seem to just close the back door, shut the back door, and you know, you can attack as much as you want. If you can't shut the back door, your attack is meaningless. So now both coaches are working on it. As you can see, both captains, Tele is playing central defense for Royal Eagles.
And that's true indeed. The defense has been quite evenly positioned. Oh, a bit of a harrying there from Ian Chikowa, 21-year-old attacker. Nonetheless, now Royal Eagles, Royal Kings, I beg your pardon, looking to give these home fans something to enjoy, nibble on, as a nice little looking 1-2 from on the far side. Fortunately, ball after that one, it's a bit disappointing, was overcooked slightly.
That's what we're going to see the whole game. Litaba and Sinejo, they're going to be playing those 1-2s the whole game. And the right-hand side of Royal Eagles, we've seen them that they are a side that they can cause damages on the right because they are 1-2. And the way Litabe can overlap and hit those dangerous crosses in the box for Bengu and George, it's going to be very interesting how Tax handles it.
It's going to be very interesting indeed. This team is geared for attack. Nothing but attack. I'll tell you a bit more about their stats when it comes on to that. As Kamuhelo Mabuya switches it to Kyle, the skipper, who looks to play needed or pass to the swinger there. Masila Olotsinaho was the focus of that one. There is the skipper, Kilani Kyle, the Durbanite. Seen him quite a few occasions. He's a hard man in that defense. Reads the game in as well. Well traveled Pilani Kyle, former Amazulu man.
Reads the game very well. His experience, you can see, he's trying to just slow the game down because he wants them to play from the back. But as we saw earlier, that pass he actually did, it went outside. You know, it's one of those disadvantages he has, that sometimes he tends to just relax too much instead of playing that counter-attack football.
Yeah, and giving you an indication of how strong Royal Eagles have been at Heriguala. 13 points gobbled up from a potential 15 on offer. Imperious is a word that comes to mind. 1 draw and 4 wins. That's at home, Mr. Mkhati. Well, for the Travellers, the University of Pretoria, Matak says it. They move forward to Royal Eagles. Siabelo Masoba was a man looking to get forward there as Mkhize makes himself an option. Coutinho was just behind him, providing a second option, a different point of attack for him.
Oh yes, you know, I'm seeing something good in this 5 minutes, that the teams are not sitting back. The teams are actually counter-attacking each other.
Oh, here we go, Miguel Diaz nearly just profiting from that header there. Shane Bochenpoel, the defensive block, the defensive mastermind in this University of Pretoria team, doing what he does best as Royal Eagles. This far side looks like they're targeting it. Perhaps Kostas Mpapic has spotted something. The side in which Busiso Mtetwa is playing alongside Grigori Grishin, a Russian.
You can see Dengu is dropping off from the central to the left. So they've noticed that Tax is more packed in the middle with those three players we mentioned, Bochenpoel, Miguel and Godinho. So they're going wide, they're going right, they're going left, and they're trying to break them down. Once they can get those crosses in from the wides, they can cause dangers because they see that the middle is so packed, they can't even create something.
Yeah, can't go through the middle, so let's go through the sides. A perfect example was exactly that. They went to the right-hand side, they went the other side, and well, they lost the ball there.
Nyakjela Makvalwe immediately Oya to the side, and Makvalwe to the side, you play route one. And if that doesn't work, you just keep the ball until they break and come out.
And now the swap sides to the far side as that man Diaz gets in the box. Sliding was always stretching to locate a teammate there, but good invention. Did get behind that Royal Eagles defense.
Oh yes, Miguel actually making that good run. You know what I'm seeing and what I'm liking is that when Miguel can counter-attack to force those opportunities of a goal, Godinho stays behind. If Godinho goes, Miguel stays behind. That's the kind of combination they have and understanding. And you'll find Bochenpoel just sitting there in the middle, letting them try create something for the team.
Interesting one. I see Broderick Birds, a 24-year-old midfielder there. His position is slightly been tucked into the midfield and leaving a bit of space out on that far side where Pokiso Mahlangu is sort of lurking from a defensive perspective. Oh, they're using different tactics. These coaches. Sean Bartlett, known for his attacking prowess back in the day, back in his heyday. An interesting one that his team, though, is, well, is criticizing themselves, saying they've struggled to bang in the goals.
Oh yes, they've created a lot of opportunities but couldn't finish. And you know, again, like you said, Broderick's bats coming in. We call that a Crostina formation, where when they have the ball, they go wide. And when they lose it, they come in. So it's like a cross-team, you know, a cross-team playing, so cross-team playing. So that's what you see the formation. But it's all about just shutting the spine of the team.
The only cross-team I know is a croissant. As they go to the far side, and Royal Eagles giving the home fans a bit of hope, showing them that they're trying to be on the front for great tackle to shut down that attack as the home team build again. Nice, neat footwork to get them going. Maintain possession and then crowded out. I think they dilly-dallied a bit there. They tried to manufacture an angle not once but twice as Mkhize stretches his legs, giving University of Pretoria an option up front. The hard running of that man Mkhize. Sims Mkulu, the 23-year-old former Royal Eagles man as well. The man who wasn't shot there. He's got a point to prove against his old employers.
Don't we like that kind of setup where a player is released and he comes back and becomes a nightmare for the team that released him? But you know, so far it's a good counter-attacking game. We've seen Tax. I thought they were going to be sitting back and trying to absorb the attacks from Royal Eagles, but we see them making those opportunities and, you know, playing the ball like they're the home side.
As the home side moving from keeper to defense, slowly taking the time to like to play the patient sort of game. Doing attacks if you've never seen them before. I was mentioning earlier in the previous game while they entered this one, having finally broken their home venue, Voodoo. And later, Anthony Godinho strike, getting Sean Bart, getting a call, all 3 points to hand the under-pressure team. Only their second home win of the season. As they move forward now through Chikowa. One option, Mkhize is that man. Oh, that was close.
What a nice cross from Chikoya. What a nice cross. Grass cutter. All the striker needed to do was open his foot, side tap it, back of the net. Because you found Kele wondering, he was not picking up. And the run came just on his shoulder.
The shot there was Karabo Letiabe. The man who's been attacked in that previous, or was attacked in that previous attack in the background there. Costa Papic, wonder what he's making of these early exchanges.
Let me tell you what Costa is thinking. He's actually playing a back three. So now Tax has realized that, and they are taking them from the wings. That's why you saw the quality cross coming from Chipoya. So now he has to come up again with a different formation, because you can see that Tax is coming from Broderick's back and Chakoya on the wings.
Yeah, that's always the danger of playing a back three. You leave spaces in the flanks there. It can be exploited. The great wing players. Royal Eagles try to exploit University of Pretoria's defense, trying to get some change out of it.
That's what you can expect from Miguel. I like him a lot. Last time I watched him for Tax, he was doing all the dirty work. He was tackling, he was pushing. This is Diaz. As you can see him now, that, you know what, if you can beat me with pace, I can pull you down. We call that professional foul. No yellow card handed, nothing, just killing the momentum of the opponent. That's why I wish a lot of teams and players can see that.
Sonny Lekubeka, another option was showed there. Kubeka's the man who steps up and looks to test Western Vanderlande. In between the Royal Eagles sticks there. In between, I beg your pardon, Amatax goes it. There he is. Man, Sonny Lekubeka, Tanda Zulu Royal player, 25-year-old midfielder. Hands on hips, options in the box. Referee Tiani spots something, calls a caucus. Once we have a word, looks like Grigori Grishin. Sedwyn George, two perpetrators there.
Don't know how dangerous George is.
Now Kubeka lines it up, looks to catch the keeper off. Saw what he was doing there. I thought everybody was waiting for the delivery closer to his teammates, but he tried to catch the keeper that's napping on the near post. It worked, wasn't too far.
Even myself, Temba, I would have tried to win, because I don't understand how close that ball was, that you can have a one-man wall, which it was Broderick's. But as a keeper, you need two, because you need to concentrate on the furthest post, and the wall will concentrate on the near post. But what the keeper did, he put one man. That's why Kubeka tried to go first post. I would do the same.
You would do the same. Fortunately, I think you were more renowned for your defensive work. Don't know how many free kicks you took back in your day. Oh, audacious attempt there from Jesse Jackson. Looking to catch Jaslani Moyebi as well. Perhaps snapping. These are the 25-year-old former Bloom Celtic man.
Oh yes, you know, I like what I'm seeing from Tax. I just hope they don't change the kind of formation they put out here and their mindset, because they're doing very well. They held up their own this 30 minutes, and you can see now they've had a second attempt on goal, and we still await for a Royal Eagles attempt.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about Tax heading into this one. Inconsistency is a word that comes to mind. Well, 2 wins and 5. And the last time they took all 3 points against a team that's on the road was a Black Leopards. That was back on October 15th. Goals from Jackson and Peterson, enough to hand Amatax 3 points on the day. So they've done okay-ish on the road. Now as Royal Eagles looking to get on the front foot at home. Western Vanderlinde cut it out. It was obvious there who they're trying to locate. Pomelo Bengu is making a run from deep, as well as Sedwyn George is a striking partner just behind him as referee Tiani spots a foul there. Miguel Diaz looking to take it quickly. Go to the far side through Broderick Birds. There's quickly snuffled out. Former Vets and Cosmos man.
Sean is doing exactly as he planned. I mean, he said that we're going to try to catch them on the counter. You saw the keeper, Vanderlinde, actually playing a route 1 ball to Mkhize, and Mkhize controlling it very well for the second ball, but Godino was too far to actually come assist.
Ian Chikowa making a nuisance of himself on this Royal Eagles defense. Oh, that was clever play there from Jesse Jackson. Faked as if he was going to go fetch it and sent the player to the tuck shop.
Tuck shop to get some milk and eggs for breakfast. But I can tell you, Temba, what I like and what I see with this Tuks team is that they've got a lot of heart. They're not going to just lay down.
Yeah, I saw the interplay that was being attempted there. Shane Bochenpoel, the well-traveled Shane Bochenpoel. Mfana Mitchell's playing. The 32-year-old. You mentioned a good point about Shane Bochenpoel, that his experience is supplemented by some of the youngsters in and around him. Miguel Diaz, his midfield partner today, he's 20 years old. Sean Bartlett there giving some instructions to somebody. They're not happy clearly about something.
And the nice thing is that Sean Pochampul, you know, they listen to him. I mean, you can even see now he's giving instructions to the goalkeeper Van der Len, and he's doing exactly as Sean Pochampul said. He's got leadership qualities, and you know, we've seen him at Super Sport. He did very well, winning some couple of trophies with the team. He's got a lot of experience in him.
Oh, Bengu sneaks past up. Christian quickly hauled back by an alert Jesse Jackson. Bengu back for seconds again. Bengu is the intended option as Van der Linde comes out. Bengu stretches for that one. In the end, Van der Linde has a foul for his team's efforts there. Quickly off his line, he noticed that they were trying to play a 1-2 in the direction. He read it quickly.
The momentum actually carried Bengu through. You can see the tackle was trying, and the keeper, you know, doing so well. Linden putting his body in between the ball and Bengu, and hey, what a foul needed to be given.
Tumelele Ace Bengu, man from around these parts, Peter Marisburg, former Swallows and Chippa FC player, knows the NFD ever so well. Was a top goal scorer once upon a time. Still trying to recapture that form, Mr. Mkati.
Oh yes, top goal scorer 2 seasons ago when he was playing for Tanda. And if you can remember, he was played right back the season before that. And now, the next season he was used and he scored 12 goals, taking the golden boot for NFD.
Pilot and Tembu there with neat footwork for such a big defender as that man Sedwyn George coming deep to link up play. Oh, nice stand up. That's how that man Sedwyn George continues. They go to the far side to Bengu, whose touch slightly takes him away. And as a result, the angle, a bit difficult to wrap his foot around it.
Oh, I mean, I like the first touch from Bengu. He opened his foot to receive it, and he hit, but the shot was not powerful. But the way the combination between Bengu and George, the two strikers, you can see that he's been practiced at training.
Zukule Mkiza looking to show he's also a striker of class, lays it over to Miguel Diaz, who's quickly closed down. Here's a man who can shoot from far. Anthony Godinho, they want to be giving him too many opportunities to pull the trigger.
That's why you saw a Royal Eagles man was there in quick, because you can remember against Royal Eagles, he scored a cracker. Against Magezi, he scored a cracker, and you know, he was voted goal of the week.
Yeah, remember the scorcher at Duck Stadium against Real Kings. Boy, oh boy, he really struck it so beautiful. It was a sublime finish. And then clearly for the spectacular penchant to score absolutely extraordinary goals as Jesse Jackson goes along. There's a throw-in, but cut off at the near post. And I think first 18 minutes of this game, truth be told, I think Sean Bartlett would be the happy of the two, because as I mentioned, teams that come to Herugwala traditionally and come face this high-flying Royal Eagles side, they get punished, they get bullied. They've put 12 goals, combined 12 goals against two teams on the two previous occasions, so they can punish you at will if they want. So I think Sean Bartlett will be happy with proceedings, keeping it tight. And they have a set piece for their troubles. Broderick Burrs looking to go deep. The Russian Grigory Grishin was the target there.
No, not a good ball from Broderick's butt, and just hanging it. I mean, balls like that, you clip it hard in the 6-yard.
Yeah, now Matak's renowned for their set-piece play. They are strong physically in the air as well, can compete.
Early.
Sorry about that. I was about to say that as the team's 19 minutes or so of play, as Grishin put under pressure there. Grishin seems to have taken a knock as Grigor Grishin, 19-year-old. He's down. The two teams thus far, opening 90 minutes of this game, defenses proving to be top. So how do they stack up? Konstantin Spapic has a heavy emphasis on all-out attack, particularly here at home, as Grigor Grishin still reeling from that contact earlier. Well, half of their 15 goals conceded during the campaign have been at the Herugwala Stadium, as we see that foul again. Ooh, that's a sore one on the Achilles there.
A very sore one from Kubega. He was a bit late, but we know Gregory. He's a big boy. He can handle it. He looks like before he joined playing soccer, he was at the rugby at high school, but you can see him just walking it off, which is what I love to see players do. When you get injured, just stand up and try. If you can walk it off, you're good enough to play.
That was then. So much has changed now. I've seen players diving as if snipers have taken them out. Goodness, anyway, Grigori Grishin, speaking about tough, well, they do make him tough in Russia. He is from those parts. Anyway, I was mentioning about the defense in terms from a Royal Eagles perspective. Half of their 15 goals have been conceded here at the Hedegwala Stadium. That's nearly just under a goal a game. One clean sheet in the last. Well, a stat adding a bit of meat to the argument. Their Cavalier style, somewhat a blessing and a curse, a strength and a weakness. Whether or not the opposition gobble up the chances, well, speculation at this point, Mr. Msati.
Oh yes, you know, it's good to see that, you know, they've been scoring, but they've been conceding also. But now the coach said that, you know what, if we can't close the back door, we must go score and open the front door.
Pilani Kele said we were talking about the tough man on NFD. That was one of them, I promise you. Even though he was complaining a bit there to referee Tian as a ball now swung in, looking to catch the keeper off the line there. Bit fortuitous there from Jesse Jackson. I don't think that's what he was intending. Nonetheless, if the ball did manage to just drop in over Jocelyn Mayebi, he wouldn't have cared. Would have Jesse Jackson, 25-year-old.
Oh, Jesse Jackson, I think he was watching Sundowns against Kaizer Chiefs. A brilliant goal that was scored from the right back.
In swinger testing Mayebi. Not the strongest of hands you've ever seen punch away there still. Giving University of Pretoria an opportunity to manufacture a moment of trouble for Royal Eagles here at their home ground. Nonetheless, they managed to get that ball away. Well, for Sean Bartlett's team, it's one of the more leakier defenses on the road. Over half of their goals conceded have been in away games, 9 to be exact, Mr. Mtati. The biggest defeat on the road was to 8th placed Amazulu via a 3-0 scoreline.
And now you know why that man, Christian, was actually flew into South Africa, so he can come help at the back for Coach Sean Bartlett. I like what you said that earlier on, that Sean Bartlett, 10 out of 10, planning coming into this game. He did his homework very well, and you can see the boys responding very, very well to instructions.
Yeah, but 22 minutes or so of this game, it's been hard running, it's been disciplined from University of Pretoria. As a mistake there from Mayebi, giving Chikowa a sniff at it and earning his side a free kick for the Troubles. What was Justin Mayebi thinking there?
Let me tell you, if you're going to be a goalkeeper sweeper like Tapua Kapini, you have to study the game. You have to know, you have to be comfortable. We saw him trying to control the ball with his head, and he just played it into Chikoya's path. But, you know, the recovery from him, excellent, just to get that professional foul so the team can recover.
Oh, the 30-year-old Cameroon goalkeeper will be hoping not to get punished from this ensuing spot kick. A free kick there as the University of Pretoria line it up. And the boss takes a shot, just slightly wide though. Lucky for Mayebi, nothing to profit for University of Pretoria there.
I'm telling you, Mayebi was like praying nothing happens, because he was going to be looked at and point fingers. But, you know, once again, a good free kick taken, just needed more direction to the goal.
Now movement up front there, Mkhize's touch takes him away. Coutinho with a lovely little fake. Coutinho with options. Mkhize was found. Mkhize couldn't find the back of the net. How did he miss that? That was easy.
What a cross from Godinho. That's what we know him to do. And once again, Mkhize controlled the ball.
Oh, Sean Bartlett's reaction there, that was absolutely funny there. So the lighter side of it, or at least I did. I don't know if he was calling for a substitution or was asking what was happening as Bengu puts it down on his chest. Easily read there by Sbusiso Mthethwa, the skipper. Now, University of Pretoria turning defense into attack, but Barry Burrs just left the ball behind him. Royal Eagles defense, a bit lackadaisical, Mr. Mhlati.
I can tell you the communication between Pele and Mthembu not on point. They need to talk more. They need to, if one goes to close the ball down, one needs to sweep, and if the other one goes close, one needs to sweep. But there's no communication between Pele and Mthembu, and that has to improve before they get punished.
University of Pretoria being the away team, you'd expect them to be more aggressive between the two. Hence, they've accumulated more fouls there. As they line up a shot to Royal Eagles, coming from deep though, I think, but Coach Sean Bartlett will be happy with that. If they're taking shots from those kind of distances, they can't hurt us. The likelihood of a ball dropping in the back of the net is quite low, really. Pilani Tleda, the skipper there,
I'm telling you, Tele, actually, you know, we were hearing earlier on some family members for Tele said that, you know what, we're here to support him. And, you know, by the way he's doing, he's letting the family down.
And I think as things stand, Sean Bartlett will be a happy man given what he's seen. But what I've noticed, I think Royal Eagles, given the Imperious home record, are a tad overconfident in their play. Haven't really put too many passes together from what I've seen. Any combination play, Bengu has been the likeliest, as Bengu nearly snuck it through to an eye of a needle there.
That's the problem we get to experience in our league in South Africa, where you just look at the team on the log and the last performance and you think you can walk over them.
Well, if you score 27 goals in 11 games, why not if you can?
My coach, my former coach, used to say that you forgot about last week what happened. This week is what matters.
Looks like Sandile Kubega, it's a man who's taking a knock there. As Konstantin Papic just watches on. Doesn't look too concerned about the injury. Perhaps he's just waiting for word from the physios if it's any serious.
I don't think it's anything serious. As you can see where the ice pack is put, he can recover. You know, when you get burnt in the kitchen, you can just apply a little bit of butter and you recover. As we see Kubega coming on his feet.
Cooking 101, Lucky 30 style. I think as you see some of the options there on the bench for Konstantin Papic, a star-studded bench. Truth be told, Royal Eagles, any of those players that can come on, the likes of Monama could easily step on that bench and hurt you, as well as the liners Pilani Zakalala, who's the reserve goalkeeper. Nkulele Kochangan is a name that also pops up, as well as the former Sundown striker Nkosi Ngubani, aka Ubesi. It's also an option for Costa Papic if he needs to shake things up.
I would love to be Costa Papic wherever I am, because he's got so much star-studded bench. I mean, Monama just on the top of our head, that he can come in and actually cause damage to this Tuks team. So for the coaches, a good headache to deal with.
You mentioned Monama. He's been one of the more lethal players at home, particularly. He scored 6 goals in 8 games for them at home. Clearly a man who loves playing at home. Now the switch it wide, looked like a handball there. Referee Tiani spots it. Hit the hand of Sandile Kubeka, who looks like he's recovered from his injury, has the former Tanda man, 25-year-old winger.
Let me tell you what Tuks has done excellently. Jackson, Mtetwa, Christian and Mahlangu has actually been so concentrating and communication. The offside line, when they do an offside trap, they are on a straight line that you have no choice but to be offside, and they've been doing it very well. As we see, Royal Eagles caught second time on the offside trap.
Diaz reading the danger there as Chikowa now profits from his hard work. Well read there in the end by Pilot Mtembu, central defender for Royal Eagles. Another storyline, Mr. That as we see Chikowa bursting forward with intent. 2 for company. Runs aside, a rolling corner. All down there from that man Chikowa. Looked like the odds were against him, but somehow he manufactured a corner for his team, giving University of Pretoria, the Travellers, for today, set piece opportunity. We mentioned how strong they are at set pieces. The first one, they failed to hit the mark. Can they do better in the second of their corners? Broderick Birds, a ways to deliver. Royal Eagles defense looks in anticipation. Who's moving where, who's going where. In the meantime, I can tell you referee Tian is having a word. But, some of the players, they're a bit of argy-bargy that is unnoticed there as Broderick Birds looking to use his wonderful left foot to deliver a ball of quality. He was at the near post as a bit of improvisation from Zuki Mkize. Straight at a well-positioned Jocelyn Mayebi.
I like what Mkize is doing. He's actually everywhere and anywhere, because every ball that comes into the box is there to cause problems for Royal Eagles. As we saw him do a little bicycle kick, but you know, he's trying his best, and once he keeps on going like this, you can see the fruit.
30 minutes on the clock of this game, and it's been a cagey affair in the opening half hour of this game. You would expect it by now, Royal Eagles to be at least a goal up if you read too much into their stats, they have scored bucket loads. They are dominating possession, though, for their troubles. Yet to turn that possession into goals, really. I think credit must be given where credit is due. Sean Bartlett has masterminded a good opening 30 minutes for his team.
We see Royal Eagles with the possession because what I'm noticing is that George drops into the middle and Bengu drops into the middle just to touch the ball from the middle fielders, Mabuya. But now the problem is once they just tiki-taka and touch the ball, it's okay for Tuks. I mean, the coach did say that he's going to try catch them on the counter.
Yeah, I think it's an indication as well from a Royal Eagles perspective that they've starved Sedwyn George and Pumilelo Bengu, today's twin strikers of service, having to come deep to even just get a touch on the ball. The likes of Mabuya, the man there, who just got bundled off the ball. That's what's been happening. Diaz battling away. Look at the number of red shirts available. There's options. Can University of Pretoria turn their defensive hard work into profitable attack? Was well read in the end.
Good recovery from Litabe. He needed to do that. But what combination? Back heels, the confidence from Tuks. I mean, as a traveling team, we would expect them to be closing the back door. But no, they're taking it to Royal Eagles as we see them now, their third corner.
First two, give them a minus C. Can they up their game and trouble Royal Eagles from this set piece? Jesse Jackson goes near post. Oh, Sibusiso Mthethwa hung in the air there. Great hang time that the skipper get, the former Free State Stars man, but couldn't direct his header downwards.
Captain, my captain. I mean, third chance in the half. We've seen Tuks managing and grailing. We can see that it's not going to be easy for Royal Eagles. If they want these 3 points, they're going to dig deep in the bag.
It's interesting to notice from those corners that University of Pretoria don't go deep with their corners. They've went twice now, near post. The last one didn't get enough elevation, and that one they did, and they nearly almost profited, put money in the bank there.
They don't go deep because you can see how tall Maeba is in the goal, so that's why they needed to catch him on the first post or the far post.
Now Royal Eagles providing movement is Ace Bengu, stretching his legs but quickly snuffed out was Sibusiso Mthethwa, who loses out. Back to a hard-fighting Bengu. Mabuya looking to cut it back to one of his unrushing midfielders. I think we haven't seen enough of that from the home team. A quick burst, the quick explosiveness, and now attack, turning defense into attack, transition players, the former players call it.
Oh yes, transition players, and I see Miguel also just, he's in the thick of things. When we are there attacking, he's there. When he's defending, he's there tackling. And that's what we want to see from a central midfielder. Somebody who's always there like Katsande.
Yeah, he's impressed me. Miguel Diaz, the 20-year-old central midfielder, playing us alongside the more experienced Shane Bockenpoel. I think Bockenpoel's experience has allowed him to flourish in the early stages. As Anthony Godinho looking to connect with Birds. Birds dilly-dally, they showed his hand a bit too early. You could tell from afar what he was trying to do. But good signs there. University of Pretoria looking as they're here to win, Lucky. They're here to play, and they're not just here to make up the numbers.
Oh yes, but they're in two minds, trying to actually take a fella on or close the ball. But what a performance from Tuks team. I mean, coming here, taking the game to Royal Eagles.
That's the fourth corner I count. Can they make one of these count? Mayebi gets a hand. Oh, Chikoa was leaning back. Far too much to direct it properly there. But they're getting closer. They're troubling this Royal Eagles defense with those corners. Surely Costa Papic will be telling his defenders, let's cut down those corners, let's cut out on those corners so we don't give them an easy in.
Oh yes, I mean, mentioned earlier why they're playing those first pole and last pole, because when they play in the middle, Maeba can actually just catch the ball like he did.
Now moving forward is Sebata Masoba. Looks to play a 1-2 with Sunny Lekubeka. Nearly gets it back. Does ever so well to just get a touch to bring it forward. Masoba, the 24-year-old, still has an opportunity. Bengu with a great first touch. Raises his hand, say, questioning if it was any hand to that one. Ace Bengu, what a lovely move to get in between the defenders and take that first touch, kill it dead, and get a shot away.
You can see Bengu doing very well in the box, but a little bit of match unfit. He's match unfit because you can see if he used to bury those.
On near post, they go Royal Eagles, do they? But Bockenpoel was well positioned. Mentioned match fitness. I always wanted to know from a former pro like yourself. how quickly can one get match fitness? Is it a matter of playing 1, 2, 3 games, or does it take you months to just get that sharpness?
No, Temba, you need to play 3 consecutive games, 90 minutes, where you can actually get your match fitness. But you can, if you run like a player and road work, you're not going to get mature. You need to be playing 90 minutes against competitive teams.
Basically, you can run as much as you like. If you're not got the ball at your foot, you're going to struggle. Coutinho showing a bit of power, showing a bit of ambidexterity there with a lovely ball. Diaz with a late run. Oh, this Anthony Coutinho is a talent, I tell you. The coach says play here, he says I will myself. And he puts in performances, as I said today, not in his traditional midfield position, as Mkhize was looking to profit from that cross from Chikowa.
The coach Sean Butler actually very happy with Coutinho because he's showing consistency as a player. When you're consistent, you can be valued for. I used to play the whole season without even getting injured.
Here we go. As Chikowa back at it again. Diaz with the technique, lean back, pull the trigger. There was Sanchez.
Diaz, what he's known for. I mean, we've seen him do during the friendly game, scoring exactly similar goal. But what about that cross from Chikoya? I mean, this is the 3rd cross he's got, and the 3rd time, like, strikes it like, I mean, he did it first time, Mkhize missed. He did it 2nd time, Mkhize missed. 3rd time, Miguel says, no, I'm not going to miss. I'm going to just sweetly hit it with the laces back of the net.
As I said earlier, my man of the match in opening 36 minutes of this game, Miguel Diaz, the 20-year-old midfielder. Gets a danky siyabonga from his teammate Anthony Coutinho. Look at that technique. Oh, you can watch that the whole day. But Chikowa must get the credit. You mentioned not once, not twice, but 3 times. And then he said, can't deny me, and Diaz pulled the trigger. That's the first goal of the game. But
he's been doing absolutely fantastic, this Diaz. I mean, he's tackling, he's in the box, he's doing everything that the coach asked him. This is the kind of player you need. If he gives you, he gives you. You're expecting 100, he gives you 110. And you know that if you substitute him, he's giving all that you can ask from him.
Oh, here we go now. This sets us quite nicely, really, for the rest of this game. Royal Eagles, as we mentioned. And the 37 minutes of this first half. As looking to take the free kick quickly. That was an interesting one. Hit it against Diaz. And referee Tiana just said play on. Diaz surely was not 10 yards away there.
Let me tell you, Telo was just trying to get Diaz booked. And Diaz turned around and pretended like he didn't even know that he's closing the ball down.
It's been an interesting opening 30 minutes of this game as a pass leaning back. Chikowa coming through. Back at it again now. University of Pretoria, not once, not twice. A bit of luck for your Eagles in the end. Oh, they're opening up those chances in the wide areas. First it was Chikowa, it was Bird secondly. Sean Bartlett saying, how did we not score that one?
This man, Sean Bartlett, told you, I don't know what to do because I'm creating chances after chances after chances, and these boys are just not bearing it. That's why we were laughing earlier on that when he was 10 years old, he wishes he could be banging those balls in.
Maybe simple formula, just get it to Diaz. Maybe they'll score. It's worked already before as that man Bengu looking to go out wide, perhaps in an area that University of Pretoria will be happy with out wide. He can't hurt you from there. There's more fox in the box. There's Pumelo Bengu. Bokenpool reads that quite nicely. They look to go forward through the movement of Mkhize, do the man in red. But well, Eagles alert on that instance. Oi, Jocelyn Mayebi, very confident keeper.
I like the formation that Tax has put out here. I mean, you see back 4, you see Bokenpool being the central defensive, you see another 4, and then you see the top striker Mkhize. So you can see that Sean Bartlett is playing it very safely. He can attack with 5 players, he defends with 5 players. Absolutely brilliant.
And they're probably doing it with less possession as well, playing that counter-attacking style of theirs. I was going to mention that that goal from Diaz in the 37th minute sets it up nicely because now the onus is on Royal Eagles because they've been slow out the blocks as compared to the Travellers. It's interesting, it's almost as if Royal Eagles are the ones that have had to travel over 544 kilometers from Pretoria to Pietermaritzburg to play this game.
As we see a foul there from Sean Bokenpool, I mean, that's why he's there.
Shane Bokenpool getting the first yellow of this game. Referee Tiani putting an early marker saying he will not take any of that. As the 32-year-old former Ajax and Super Sport United hard man, Shane Pochenpoel.
He needed to sacrifice himself there because, as you can see, that Bengu was already in the scoring position. So he had to show these boys is, if you can't get the ball, just lean on top of them, man.
That was a soft yellow, though. He was falling more than anything, but nonetheless, the referee's word goes, it is final. There's an opportunity for Royal Eagles. 5 minutes after this first half remaining. Getting the big boys, the likes of Pochenpoel. Keys are not the biggest you'll ever see, as well as Birds as well in that wall, but Bengu skips it, leaves it for his teammate. Sunny Lekubeka couldn't get enough purchase on it, straight at the keeper.
Van der Linde, good wall. Let me tell you why he put Birds there, because he shot in tall man so he can see the ball over his head, and that's exactly what happened. When they tried to clip it over the wall, he was there to receive it. Good goalkeeping, good reading of the game.
And with that goal that Diaz scored, well, give you a quick rundown of how Ducks have performed on the road. Another foul there, quick succession of fouls for Royal Eagles. Perhaps putting more pressure now. That goal perhaps has woken them up.
Sean Pochenpoel actually saying referee no, man, and you can see he was either hugging the referee to say I'm sorry, or he was saying referee next time I'm coming straight for you.
Now another free kick opportunity. Sunny Lekubeka had a first bite at it. Standing close to him is his teammate Marcelo Senago. Senago this time they opt for the left foot. A diving Coutinho gets it clear. Chikoa the first to pounce on it from that ensuing defensive work. And disappointing in the end because there was an opportunity. Royal Eagles had left the back door open. They're ready to jump in and get into the kitchen. The University of Pretoria.
Don't kill the man. It was Mtetwa, and you know he's a central defender, so he was in an unfamiliar area. That's why he ended up kicking the ball out. He couldn't believe it that, yo, counter-attack, manje mina.
Well, Coach Sean Bartlett will be happy with the first 42 minutes of this game. His team have done exactly what is practice, exactly what he set out before the game. Started exactly what is envisaged. One lying in bed somewhere at home, deep in thought, as Royal Eagles look to undo that vision. At University of Pretoria, do what they've been doing for much of this first half. Break quickly and break with purpose. Coutinho, on that instance, though, loses out, trying to get a 1-2 going. Now Royal Eagles have an opportunity. The fans telling Marcelo Senago where to put it. Bengu wasn't even watching. He was still trying to get back to a onside position. Oh, Broderick Birds with a good run. Nearly spotted or nearly found by teammate Coutinho. With that goal that they scored, lucky University of Pretoria. They've scored just under a goal a game in the last 5 away fixtures in a run that's included Pogiso Mahlangu, who's being leading the goal scoring charts in terms from that one. The former Dube Bird striker Shimon Peterson has also matched that and also bagging 3 thus far this season. So they're not doing too greatly this season, not too outstanding. They're not really pulling out any trees in terms of scoring goals away from home. They've done well. They've gotten themselves a goal in the first half and sets themselves up nicely in the second half to continue with their tactics.
They're going at it there slowly but surely. I mean, like you said, 1 goal a goal. And now you see the two Miguel colliding there with Wolver. And, you know, it was actually nothing serious, just the 2 players colliding. And it's a worrying factor as we...
Promise you, it's not that boring. Perhaps that lady just didn't get her sleep. Anyway, those fans are been a bit disappointed, truth be told. The home faithful have been so used to success, so used to seeing teams getting manhandled, abused, and bullied here at the Herigwala Stadium. But University of Pretoria found inner strength to repel all attacks that Royal Eagles have thrown at them, as on that instance Pilani Gele was a man to profit from that pinpoint ball that was chipped in.
Let me tell you, this first half, Miguel and Godinho, those are two players. And now you see Van der Linde just trying to break the attack, break the ice. I don't know, maybe he twisted his ankle or he sat down. I wish I could see, but you know, you never know these players. Touch and go.
Touch, let's go, says Van der Linde. As referee Tiani calls over the medics to just help out. 26-year-old goalkeeper, the former Milano goal minders. 3 minutes of referee's optional time being added. Now, if you've just walked in, it's been a game of tactics. There's that man, Sean Bartlett, well, he's come up trumps over his former coach, Kostas Papic. The two, of course, did partner up back in the day. One time at Amakosi, the likes of Obengu, the likes of George, the club's aces in the pack, if I can call them that, but really haven't lived up to the billing. Oh, that man, it's been all about that man, number 8, University of Pretoria, Miguel Diaz. He stood up and been counted. Sean Bartlett just giving him his thoughts on how to see out the rest of this first half. Peter Marisburg crowd have played their part, have continued to sing and urge their team on. As far, 12-man factor hasn't delivered the goods. There's still another 45 minutes to come. Much can change, so many twists and turns can be expected. This is a National First Division football. Every game is a final, I tell you. Now, Masanala Senaho looks up, whips in a ball, and that man, Sedwyn George, great lead, but such was the pace on that ball that the 25-year-old could not get his head up, get his body positioning in the exactly where he wanted it. So he had to really readjust and try to put it on target, but it wasn't to be for the club's top goal scorer. Joint top goal scorer, of course, with Munama, who is sitting on the bench. Should Coach Papic feel the urge to unleash his other weapon of mass destruction, as Senaho in the last few minutes has been heavily involved as they unleash Masabo, who gets in the ball looking for Bengu. Bengu throws himself in as Mabuya pulls the trigger. No, he doesn't. He fakes, quickly closed down. Bochenpoel even getting stuck in next to his own man. Didn't matter. Was so focused in getting a tackle in, but he almost injured Miguel Diaz, the goal scorer. Diaz now down, I think, from that contact with his teammate. Looks like a painful one there for 20-year-old midfielder Miguel Diaz. There's a Mabuya there looking to pull the trigger. Thought about it. Bochenpoel wasn't thinking about it. All he was thinking about is stop the shot. Diaz, unfortunately, was in the way. And all I can say is ouch. We haven't had too many stoppages in this first half. Hence, perhaps the 3 minutes. I think I can remember 3 instances where referee Tiani had to stop the game either for an injury or something otherwise. Sean Bartlett there looking comfortable, taking his jacket off and looking to perhaps come on himself, who knows? Oh, there we go. Where the boots, where the socks, Sean. Looks like he's just waiting and biding his time. Maybe a super sub in the 89th minute. Former Charlton athletic man, as well as former Makosi man, as I mentioned. Did play for Kostas Papic, knows him ever so well, does Sean Bartlett, as they swing it in. And that man, Grigor Grishin, the 19-year-old centre-back, does well to clear his lines. And they survived to University of Pretoria, looking as if they'll head into second half, or the end of the first half, with a well-earned 1-0 lead from the sumptuous finish of Miguel Diaz in the 37th minute. Get the team from the country's capital, looking to continue that winning feeling that did win against Makezi last week, of course, as referee Tiani calls it quits for the first 45. That man, Miguel Diaz, has been the star of the first half. Pilani Qele's leadership has not been as forthcoming as in previous encounters. As we see Sedwyn George slowly jogging off, his impact has also not been as in previous games. The club's top goal scorer, they're going to need more from him. The likes of Shane Bochenpoel have been bossing the midfield alongside that man Diaz and Coutinho. University of Pretoria will earn lead 1-0 at the halftime break.